The wait is over. It has finally come to a conclusion, and we know what teams will be joining the rest at the World Championship in Japan. Here with last chance qualifiers finally coming to an end, we know what teams and rosters have made it. Some finally reuniting themselves with LAN events, and I'm very happy to say one of the fan favorites that has finally got his moment back. A lot of hate, a lot of people obviously doubting over the last couple of years as he's tried to pull it off, and it's finally happened for him. Now, unfortunately, we are met with some sad news as well and some retirements coming out. So let's dive into and talk about what happened over the last couple of days and where we are moving on from here. So starting it off with APAC South, you had Havoc and X and Y, which are these rosters you see on screen. Obviously, some were surprised, right? You don't see Vegas Inferno make it. You don't see Heroes make it. SWQ make it. Bear Claw Gaming doesn't make it as well. Final Dream didn't make it. MDY White, right? A lot of teams that you know, that you've heard of over and over, sadly, not making it in the end. Then you move on to the EMEA region. You had FaZe Clan and Eternal taking this one, and that's FaZe Clan that you know, obviously, Fnatic, Nugs, and JMW. So no surprise, we saw this roster really talented. JMW been playing with them for a little time, so Nags also has been a guy that has so much success. Fnatic went crazy though on another level, and just overall very good game out of these fellas. And I mean, 114 points. I mean, geez, these guys were on one ridiculously. Then you had Eternal, obviously another team we all know, Bambino. We've seen this guy for a very long time in the community. This roster, this team has had a lot of variations over the last couple of months, so very nice for those guys. Unfortunately, you will not be seeing teams like Forbidden with 0-0 and OSLAB. Go Next Esports will also miss out. Tyler FPS sadly not getting to go, and this guy had so much to prove and did so well at the most recent event here at Split 2 playoffs. So it sucks that he's not going to make it. Cybercats also had their stab at it with Arctic here for FaZe Clan, that left FaZe or dropped from FaZe, moved on to Cybercats. Didn't work out there. Really sucks once again for many of these teams and rosters that we all know and love, but sadly not in the cards for everyone to join. Then it went to North America, and my oh my, did we get a finals. Stallions able to take the LCQ win. That means Albralelie is back. This is the return of the Mac, and I'm very happy to say that this guy deserves it. He's been doubted for so long. So many people have obviously made so many jokes about him quitting, and he'll probably quit again, and he comes back and he retires and he retires, and he's, it's always something going on with Albralelie. But the guy has been going through the ringer, and he's not gave up. He's tried controller, he's tried mouse and keyboard, he's tried multiple different rosters, and he always comes back and he always is looking for more, and he's always trying again, and he does it this time, and finally he gets the narrative that he wants. I'm very happy for Albralelie, and if you're an OG watching Apex Esports, no matter your thoughts on the whole retiring, unretiring over and over, you cannot say that this doesn't feel kind of good to watch Mac do it again. So I'm happy for him, and also Scurry as well. This guy's had a long time coming since 100 Thieves days, whenever we thought they were a very solid, 100 Thieves was not just a good team, they were a very good team. And then suddenly you step back and you're like, why is Vax, not competing right now, right? You had the whole Furia roster madness that was going on, no pun intended, but, Vax kind of gets snaked out of his spot to some degree, some might call it. But we know there was a lot going on. They kind of had to make that decision there with Furia. It was their only way to get a pro organization, I guess, involved. But then you move on, and you look at Scurry as well. This guy just couldn't find success. But him and Albralelie really stuck it out a lot. Like, they kind of played with different thirds quite a bit. But it was those two. They really gave each other a good hard chance. And I'm happy that they stuck it out. I'm happy they were able to get it done. And Crook obviously coming in last minute. They've had, Retzi recently, but Crook came in more of a last minute notice here, and they were able to get it done with him. Very good job out of the Stallions, and I was happy to see it as well. Oblivion in second place here. This is Blinkster, obviously, another roster you all know, but one of those pickup rosters, right? Nano here, Reed's here, Blinkster here, all former Pro League players, all former roster or different rosters, different teams, different organizations, all coming in and making their own. And here they are, and they're getting it done. just barely though, by 1 point. The Thuggets, unfortunately, this one sucks, man, because I've been a big CCE fan. These guys have done a great job. Cobra has been in the scene for a while, obviously had some stuff come up, had to take a step out of the scene. But Cap, man, Cap has been around for so long. Trev Stacks and Dan Manic, they've been going at it for so long. These guys really deserve this. I mean, especially Cap and Trev, they've been teaming with each other for so long. And you know, Dan's obviously had a guy who, he's just been a guy who's kind of hit under the radar. He's grinded, but sadly today just wasn't their day, man. It sucks to see these teams go at it and try so hard, and sometimes their dreams, it just feels like they get ripped away from them sometimes. Obviously the Busters, you all know, Presley, Chase, Mav didn't make it, just by a few points as well. Purple Slushy, you had Bullet L, right? Bullet's been a guy many also doubted, right? He's washed, he's old, he's not whatever, and everybody said that, and here he is once again proving he is worth it. Look at him, not just in the top 5, not just almost making champs, but 7k damage, 14 kills on the night. Not a bad performance from Bullet. Just overall some mistakes on that last game that really cost them. Most hated, this one is a very tough one because we all know this roster. We know Laser, we know Nasty, and we know TeQ, of course. TeQ, obviously one of the you know, most OG respected IGLs. He's got some goofy plays sometimes, we all know, but this guy sometimes can cook, and he has a very good eye for talent. Sadly though, not only did he not qualify, not make it, but he also released this just moments ago at the time of recording, saying, sadly, you know, my time has come, and it deeply hurts me to type this. My journey with the competitive Apex ends tonight. It's been wild, 5 years in the making here, and with a ton of ups and a ton of downs. I wouldn't trade the experience or anything else in this world. This has always been my dream, and I'm glad I was able to pursue it for the last few years. I have been feeling this way for some time, and I wanted to be confident this decision is obviously forever before I announced anything, and I want my focus to be on my career and go pursue further education in engineering. I'm always, you know, I've always dreaded this day, but this is the right thing to do moving forward. Sincerely, thank you to everyone, the fans, the friends, and even the haters. I hope I can be remembered as someone that was filled with passion, someone who worked really hard, and someone that took a chance on others. Thank you guys so much. And this was met with so many people in the comments. You had Yanya, Albralelie, Nicewig, Sven, so many people, so many pros paying their tributes to TeQ. Obviously sucks to see this be the end of someone that has been such a prominent figure in our community. So while it does suck to see TeQ go away and that career come to an end, it wasn't just most hated that missed out. Ape Gang, Weave, ICBM, Fury, Board, Pioneers, many rosters obviously that we know here. It only came down to 2 that could stay. Pioneers though, I am a little concerned about this roster. I feel like we're just getting very lackluster performance for guys that are very capable of much more. I like the management, I like the players, I like everything. I just don't know why we're not getting the results that we probably should be getting with this roster. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. It sucks, but I do want to say, just posting it out there, I would put a flag on this roster for potential roster changes. And the reason is obviously because at some point you got to blow it up. If you're not getting the results, just be aware. I'm not saying I've heard anything. I'm just saying that this is likely to happen for rosters like this. And obviously for an organization like KCP. Also, Native Gaming not getting the results either. Lux, Snipe Down, and Vayne. You got to wonder if there also may be some bigger decisions behind this. I know this roster was thrown together pretty last minute. But on top of that, Snipe Down's kind of been off and on for a bit. Who's he going to be playing with? I don't know. Last minute roster here, last minute roster there. Will Snipe continue to go in this direction? Not sure. Obviously, he's had a lot to do with Native over the last couple of months. We'll see if he sticks it out. But Vayne also just recently coming off of that OXG breakup, you got to wonder what's going through Vayne's mind and where's his you know, future in competition. There's going to be a long off period here, so a lot of time to think, a lot of time to make decisions. But some of these rosters that formed together pretty last minute and didn't get the you know, results they were looking for, I would imagine that they probably will not be sticking together. Also wanted to throw in some updates that we got here from Oversight Esports. They did come out after the LCQ was finally over to say, with the conclusion of the LCQ, here are your tentative groups for Year 4 Championship in Japan. However, he said that if Legend disbands, all the teams in orange would move up 1 spot and then GHS would qualify. So obviously GHS is hoping that that does happen, and Legends has been in a whirlwind lately, right? We saw Easy Flash come out and say that the team was splitting up. The two guys want to go to NA, it seems like. And then you had Strafing Flame kind of saying that they had split up as well. And so it was going to be Strafing Flame with the coach, and they're going to keep the spot, it seems. But who are they actually going to pick up? How's it all going to work out? Obviously, time will tell. But if Legend does disband, this is how the group will then look. So you can see a lot of changes here compared to what is on top. Like many teams, like for instance, LG is in Group D on the top, but they're in Group C down here. So like these are big teams. This is not just like we just get another team who's going to be in our group, like a different. No, I mean the difference between LG and Legends is a pretty big difference sometimes. In some of these instances, you might be in Team Falcon's group or SSG's group, TSM's group, whatever. In some of these instances, you might not be in that group. I think Group C might be the quote easiest group, but I don't think it's necessarily an easier group. I think it's actually got more like overall spread out consistent teams, but the super teams that you want to call it are in some of these other groups. Maybe you want to avoid those. Maybe you do want to avoid Group C since it's actually more spread out, more even. Maybe a group like B with Team Falcons is easier to get by with because they'll just probably run the whole lobby. The point is that roster update, that disband could have a lot to do with like the future of how these games could be played out and who qualifies, who doesn't. So just stay tuned, obviously subscribe, and we'll keep you up to date with further updates regarding that. But that's not the only roster update you need to stay in tune with. It's also Cloud9. Obviously, a lot of eyes on this one since we saw their recent updates and even Bleed Esports recent updates, with Shubi now being nominated on the Boom TV team for Cloud9. Obviously, this could be a huge roster addition. I think Shubi has been a very good talent in the seed for quite some time. I wish that Bleed Esports would have given it a little more time before they chalked that one up, but it is what it is. I think Shubi's going to go to a good home, and I think he's kind of put a lot of good stock in himself. So many teams to look out for here at Champs. And I gotta say, as much as we are still calling Falcons the super team, I think those days are over, and especially with this meta right now. It's unpredictable. It's hard to just dominate, probably is what it seems. Don't think that Falcons may just go in there and destroy everything. They might, but that's not really been the trend that we've been seeing over the last couple of events. Some other teams have definitely had their fair share and stab at it, right? We have Falcons in dead last at split 2 playoffs. Falcons did not win World Cup. So the super team is not supering it up right now. So obviously stay tuned and look for all these guys to have an equal shot at winning the World Championship here in Japan in a couple of months. Interested to see your thoughts down in the comment section below. And Albralelie making it back to land. What are your thoughts on this team? Do they actually have a chance at Champs, or was this just a little fun victory in the meantime that is just setting themselves up for the big disaster at Champs? A lot of people think that, but hey, at the end of the day, Albralelie was also doubted this whole time to even qualify for it, and he did it. So anything is possible. Anything's on the cards. Let us know your thoughts down below. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.